Hi everyone, Blue here at Particle Measuring Systems. Today, I have the pleasure to speak with Rebecca Dunn from Spectris in London, and we'll talk about the very exciting and important topic for both PMS at Spectris, sustainability. Rebecca joined Spectris in 2017 and became head of sustainability in May 2020 and head of governance in October 2022. Rebecca is responsible for the group's sustainability strategy, including our zero net ambition, our approach to climate change, and our social strategy on STEM, communities, and inclusion and belonging. Rebecca, thank you so much for being here. So how does Spectris define sustainability?
Well, the world is changing really quickly. So to us, sustainability is thinking about what we need to do as a business to evolve, to grow in that changing world, whether that be as a supplier, as an employer, as an investment opportunity, or just as a member of the community. So when I talk about sustainability, I'm really saying, what do we need to stop, start, and continue to be even more relevant to all of our stakeholders in, say, 10 years' time?
And what does net zero mean?
So net zero has a set definition. So it simply means that we reach a point where we add no incremental greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. So that means achieving a balance between the carbons we emit and the sinks we develop. So through a combination of emissions reduction and through our own business activities and through carbon sequestration, we emit nothing to the atmosphere. So attaining net zero requires the abatement of our emissions output to as close as net zero as possible, which is consistent with the 1.5 degree warming scenario. And then we balance any remaining emissions via removal or sequestration of an equivalent quantity of carbon from the atmosphere. So we're committing to reaching net zero across our scope 1 and 2 by 2030 for the emissions within our control, and across scope 3 emissions and our value chain by 2040.
That's a fantastic plan. So what is involved in the Spectris sustainability approach?
Well, our approach is wide-ranging and it's focused on what's material to our business and our stakeholders. So we undertake a materiality assessment with all stakeholders every 3 years to ensure we're effectively prioritising the right topics. So today we're mainly talking about environmental impact and net zero, but other work streams under our sustainability strategy encompass group STEM strategy and how we build our talent pipeline for the future, as well as our approach to inclusion and belonging and our focus on managing the physical risk posed by climate change.
Got it. And are PMS and Spectris on track to meet their net zero goals?
I think it's too early to say for sure, but both PMS and Spectris have certainly hit the ground running. PMS has made amazing progress against scope 1 and 2 and the first real steps against scope 3. And it's really clear that PMS has the leadership team driving progress and are thinking really widely about net zero and what's possible.
Yeah, I like to hear that. What are some of the biggest successes?
Well, let's just talk about PMS a bit. So I think at PMS, I think the swift transition to renewable energy has been really impressive. So by the end of the year, 100% of PMS operations will be powered by renewable energy, which is just amazing progress. I've also been really impressed with the work undertaken in Boulder on packaging to reduce plastic waste. So I think, overall, the leadership shown by the PMS team has just been fantastic this year.
Super. And how is the approach evolving?
Well, for Spectris as a whole, we have 5 businesses, PMS is one of them, and they're all tackling this problem slightly differently and tackling different elements of their net zero challenge at different paces. So what we're seeing from each business now, including PMS, is some really innovative and progressive ways of moving forward towards net zero in different ways. And so for me, really the next stage will be ensuring that each of our businesses can see the best practice developing elsewhere in the group and to use that joined up knowledge to really drive progress forwards.
Okay, so has the sustainability community changed since Spectris launched its priorities? And if so, how did they change?
Oh, it's such a good question. I think sustainability has now become mainstream, certainly at Spectris. I'm a member of the executive committee, and this ensures that sustainability really sits at the heart of our wider decision making as a business. It's not just ESG in a box, it involves everything we do and everything we think about. And through some of the work we've undertaken to date, we've had some great activity that was already underway in the businesses and people who are really passionate about driving change. And we've brought those people together. But we've also found many willing volunteers who've become involved due to our strategy, and the change they're making is really inspiring.
And have you encountered any challenges?
Yeah, if this was easy, the world would already be at net zero. We know we need to do this. It's just really hard to do it well. So we're applying this new lens to our business, And, it's creating lots of opportunities for improvements and even for cost savings. But, every step, we have to think there are many sensible reasons why we do things the way we do them. And some of our systems and processes have been in place for a really long time for good reasons. And changing those systems and processes towards net zero has to be done over time with real care and attention. So I guess the challenge is really, we need to maintain that slow and steady pace in what we do and just be really considered in making change.
Definitely. So how do you measure and verify success?
Well, our net zero targets have been validated by the Science Based Targets Initiative against that 1.5 degree warming scenario. So we have a clear path to net zero across all our emission scopes, and we know what we need to do and the progress we need to make and the speed we need to make that progress at. So we then review what we've achieved every year, and we publish that in our Spectris annual report to ensure transparency. And I would also say that, many of the aspects of our emissions, all our scope 1 and 2, for example, are also assured by our external auditor. So there's a really good line of sight for all our stakeholders to see where we're up to, what we've achieved and what we still need to do.
And what are you most proud of?
I'm proud of so many things we've done, but I'm really proud of how we come together as a global business on this one central challenge. I've met so many great people doing this who share the same passion for progress and the same passion for this group. And, it's great to bring all these people together, and we're delivering real change through it. And it's just fantastic to work with so many great people.
Super. And how was the program received?
Reception's been really great from customers. I work with investors a lot. They've really liked where we're going, employees and future talent. I speak to a lot of future talent with my STEM work, and they're very excited with the direction of travel we're taking and the leadership we're taking on this. And I think, for all stakeholders, knowing that we're looking to the future and investing in our business for success, it makes Spectris and PMS an exciting prospect for everybody. So yeah, been received really well.
That is really exciting. What are the next step and priorities?
Well, for me, the next step is really to focus on the big opportunities in our Scope 3 roadmap, really getting to grips with the emissions profile of our supply chain and our product portfolio. And the world of freight is developing really fast. So it's looking at how we can ensure that we move with available technology to meet our aims. So it's really engaging with our suppliers, our customers, our stakeholders to ensure that we're keeping up with their pace of travel as well.
Rebecca, thank you so much for speaking with us today, and I hope to speak with you again soon.
Thanks so much, Boo. Thanks for having me.